cover of the June 1998 issue of Life magazine showed the picture of a doctor delivering a baby. The title asked, "What makes a good doctor?" Inside, Life answered that question by looking at one rural family practice in Maine. But journalist Claudia Dowling and photographer Lynn Johnson were also looking back a full half-century to another Life photo essay entitled Country Doctor by the master photojournalist W. Eugene Smith. The practice and the town that Life chose was mine, Seaport Family Practice in Belfast, Maine. I'd like to show you the photographs again, in my own words and with my own answers. This is Belfast in January during one of its open winters of little snow and bitter cold. Black and white photography captures it well because these are the principal colors of a Maine winter. Belfast is known for its waterfront, both infamously as the site of the poultry plants whose raw refuse led Newsweek magazine to call it Schmaltzport in the 1960s, and famously as a legendary shipbuilding, sailing, and financing center during the latter half of the 19th century. The day begins at the computer while the house is quiet, before the kids are up, and my attention is not pulled in 1,000 different directions. Coffee with my wife Lindsay before leaving for the hospital and the start of another day. Waldo County General Hospital is only 3 blocks away, close enough to ride on my bicycle or ski there when my car has been snowed in. Most of my patients, except for those in the labor ward, are old and tired and in need of reassurance and a touch that tells them that someone cares. They prefer not being talked down to, which is not easy because they are ill and feeble, wear pajamas, and lie in bed. They also have something to say, that all of us will be in this bed one day. Pay attention. Make your days count. Paperwork is a necessary evil, but also one opportunity during the day to slow down. Then comes the office. It is more relaxed there. Unlike the hospital, the patients come and go, leaving behind a good story or two, or a button. My job is mostly listening, to connect, to understand, to bear witness. My job is also to touch what even the patient would rather not look at. There is a sad side to my work that would deplete me were it not for signs of new life, and the uncomplicated visits, where I only need to focus on the task at hand. Or foot, even when the foot is not the patient's own. One of the most satisfying aspects of my job involves caring for families, many of whom have lived in the same house or along the same road for generations. Running remains an important part of my routine. It takes me completely away from my worries, gives me time to sift through my thoughts, and reminds me of what life requires, going the distance. It is said of doctors that we bury our mistakes, but mostly we bury our friends. So it's important for both the survivors and their doctor that there be closure and a suitable goodbye. Most of the deaths in Waldo County are from natural causes, but when they're not, they become a medical examiner's case. This too is part of my work, offering an explanation for what went wrong. And when words are insufficient, there is some small consolation in knowing that at very least someone gathered the facts and bore witness to the end of a life. I still make house calls. It allows a privileged look inside the world of our patients, especially those for whom their house has become their universe. I count pills while my patient drinks a beer. We talk about living within one's limits. about taking others' safety into consideration. We talk about giving up the driver's license. The doc, he says, I've driven since I was 12. Back at the hospital, caring for patients is a team effort. This is one of the biggest differences between the practice of the original country doctor and my own. The work must be a collective effort. The physical and emotional demands are too great. This is a point that Life's photo essays did not make clear enough, but this was their story, not mine. This evening, my daughter was with me when I needed to make a brief labor check. Claire is both curious and alarmed as she puts a little English on her startling new awareness of the world. There is almost nothing more satisfying than helping a new human being slide into the world. Like a proud grandparent, I can hand it back to those who will be responsible for her for the rest of her life. And when all the loose ends are tied up, I can go home, enjoy a beer, and hug my daughter, and play with my son, split bedtime stories with my wife, and slip off to dream of another day. My job has continued to change and unfold. It is now even less like that of my father, a GP, or Dr. Sirianni, who was the subject of the first Life magazine photo essay. But it is no less satisfying, nor taxing, nor heroic. What makes a good doctor remains exactly the same: a measure of compassion, curiosity, and humility, and the commitment to offer each patient, in every encounter, what they need that day as an offering of conversation, friendship, and hope. My name is David Loxterkamp.